Alrighty then, welcome back guys.
Turn to ban.
Alright, announcer lady, calm down. We're back here with game number 3, LGD Gaming against LGD Forever Young. We have LGD FY lowercase against LGD FY uppercase. Gonna be interesting, not confusing at all as the draft. Yep, it's underway. I had to take care of a few things in chat. There are some naughty little bastards in there that I had to get rid of. Stop being so rude. So, yes, last game, FY Magnus. A little bit hit and miss. First couple of RPs not too great. Did completely whiff a couple of them, but the game-winning one, it certainly secured them that victory over LFY. So LGD going to be first picking it here for FY this time around with a Shadow Shaman to follow, as Ancient Apparition has been ignored so far. Night Stalker, Prophet, Nyx, and Earthshaker all banned, which allows the Lich to come on through with the puck. And Earth Spirit gets through to the second phase. This is very, very unusual. Doom is banned, which maybe signifies a Necro pick from LGD. That's a possibility here for them. But also, it removes out the Lich Doom dual offlane, which has become such an annoying lane yet again. You know, you think back to Alliance, what, 2.5 years ago, whenever Bulldog was still playing with them, kind of after, at the very end of that Alliance squad's kind of run, they were playing a lot of Lich Doom pretty much every game they could when Nature's Prophet was banned, and they would just run at you, because Doom has Scorched Earth and Frost Armor. He just doesn't care about anything, pretty much. They won't be getting that combo this game. LFY ban out the Broodmother now. Not going to give that over to the hands of LGD. As the Earth Spirit did get its way through to the second phase of bans, and of course, Arfu would have loved to have that. He does still have the Sand King available to him and the Slardar, which we saw from the last game. But this drafting is actually bizarre. So we've seen very similar things all the way through the qualifiers, where teams are pretty much banning and picking the same things. We're seeing a lot of, Puck, Sven, AA, bit of Shadow Shaman, bit of Sand King, a lot of Earth Spirit, and we see very similar lineups versus very similar lineups. A lot of the counters are kind of known and understood between the teams, and all the scrims that happen, people kind of figure out that meta per region. And China definitely has a very clear defined one themselves. They like to cycle ultis to take down towers. They love the roaming fours to be very active early on, and they have these kind of 1v1s across the map, where you have like a 1v1 offlane where the offlaner fights the carry player, one of the supports fights the support, then mid lane has very often been just 1v1s. We rarely see the kind of Nyx assassin camping mid anymore. Does come in from time to time for maybe a gank, but not really that kind of lane. Then you have like a 1v1 bot lane, with your safe laner against the off laner and your support against another support. It's a bunch of 1v1s across the map, and then you kind of start converging into tower taking. Shadow Shaman obviously going to try and amplify that up. LFY still yet to have a hero that succeeds at hitting towers, or has it as one of their strong points, as they take the Kunkka in response to the Sand King there for Arfu, it looks like. Plenty of teamfight capability, Dream Coil, Chain Frost, as well as the Torrent Boat. Lots of spells to throw into something like a Chronosphere, which could be the 4th pick here. Could give that over to Monet for the safe lane. It could also be an Inflame hero, but I would probably expect the puck to go off lane. Give Super something that he's maybe a bit more familiar with, like Venomancer. Venomancer wouldn't be too bad here. 2 Blink heroes in LGD, the Sand King and Magnus. Definitely going to be afraid of the little Plague Wards being spammed around everywhere. I'm going to go for the Queen of Pain again for maybe. Succeeded in the previous one. Let's see how it does in this match. You don't know what the mid matchup is, so picking something that is survivable, has an escape mechanism to get away from any difficult situations, but also a Yule's Buyer up against that Kunkka X is not too shabby.
5 seconds remaining.
No Necro, no Veno. Could definitely see one of them picked up here for LFY. I feel like the Veno is better for them just because of the Plague Wards. You get the vision advantage over these Blink heroes. You're able to set up and defend towers or even play aggressively into towers and allow the other heroes on your team to smoke and play around. But they go for the Necro. They do go for the Necro. Good sustainable carry. There's lots of magic damage from LGD though, which is pretty freaking scary. Probably needs to buy a BKB this game, which isn't the... It's like anti-synergy with the Ghost Shroud, which is pretty bad.
5 seconds remaining.
But there, that's like the big difference between, you know, NA, EU, and China. China just don't prioritize Necro as much as they do in the West. Seen a lot of 10th pick Necros or very, very late pick Necros in the drafts. Bloodseeker taken out there by LGD. Good hero against the Queen of Pain with the Silence and the Rupture. There is, of course, the way to get away. You know, you take that one step, and then you blink with the Rupture on you to make sure that you don't take the damage through the blink. Still annoying, though, because it forces you to use blink defensively. And then stand your ground as Anti-Mage is picked up. We did see Black the other day, about, what, 2 weeks ago now, show that you can Manta dodge the Rupture damage when you blink. And I know also that Bisa has toyed with Ether Lens on Anti-Mage. You get the Ether Lens on AM, and then your blink is long enough range that you don't care about Rupture. You literally just blink away and take no damage. Because Rupture has that weird, is it like 1200? I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's 1200. The 1200 range thing. Like if you travel 1200 range within a quarter of a second, then you take no damage. Something like that. I can't remember exactly how it works or the numbers around it, but basically, you move, then you blink, and then you take no damage. If you don't move, and you try and blink, you die. Simple.
LGD's
Final pick for LFY is Juggernaut, actually. A hero that we've not seen too much of. I think we had one game in the first day of these qualifiers, I want to say. Didn't do particularly well, though. Feels like a very slow hero this game, but usually you buy it for the Manta, the Diffusal Blade, you buy the Juggernaut for the items that you get from it. But here in this game, Healing Ward is going to be very, very potent, as well as that Omni Slash onto heroes like Shadow Shaman and Queen of Pain if you can get the stuns in. But I think mainly here the Blade Fury, the ability to TP out without being stunned outside of the RP. And now, yeah, they do go for the Void and LGD. I thought maybe that LFY would go for it, but it's going to be the Arme special. Arme Void, get the Mask of Madness up and running. Got plenty of damage to pile into that Chrono as well. I've got lots of ultis to cycle, and like I was saying earlier in this draft, we see very set game plans from a lot of these Chinese teams, where they obviously don't bust all their ultis in one team fight unless they know they're going to wipe their opponents. Or they know they're going to wipe their opponents and get a Roshan or a tier 2 or a tier 3 or something. They like to cycle their ultis, so we'll see like an RP and a Sonic Wave, then they go for a tier 1. Then you have the Epicenter and a Chrono with Serpent Wards for another team fight and a tier 2. So you get this kind of constant flow of team fights rather than having one great team fight and then for 2 minutes you've got nothing. Very, very important. LFY, I guess similar thing here. They've got a couple of good combos with Dream Coil, Lich Ult, and of course the Kunkka with all of his spells. I don't have too much in the way of nuke damage to help out the Necro outside of like Omni Slash and Puck with the Orb Waning Rift and maybe a Dagon a little bit later on. And don't worry, I have remembered to change the overlay multiple times, because I've messed it up for the past couple of days. And I often forget until 5 minutes into the game, and then people get angry, including myself. I'm not a clever man sometimes. Right, let's get those commands going. Let's open up the old CS board, get the lull last hits going. Okie dokie. DDC Lich, Arfu, Kunkka, Monet on his Juggernaut, and Inflame Puck yet again. We'll find out what he can be achieving this game. As Super takes up the Necrophos in the mid lane, it looks like there. Top lane, Victoria, Yao, and Arme. Moving up to potentially form an aggressive tri-lane, but most certainly to contest this bounty rune, which really has become the norm here. This bounty rune is so much easier to attack as Radiant into Dire. than any of the other bounty runes. Like, sure, the die, they're coming as 4 onto this one. I guess this is pretty easy to invade and attack as well. I'll try and trade off 2 for 2.
30 seconds.
Pretty much all we've been seeing this tournament is the invade. You take these as dire, this area of the map as dire, and you take this area of the map as radiant up here. I really do hate these scribbles that appear when I try and draw on the map. Like, come on. Come on. Fix this. Are we going to go dual lane? Lich Juggernaut in the bottom lane? No, surely not.
The battle
Interesting.
begins.
Oh, very interesting. So they're putting the Necro safe lane here. Well, that's 3. Wait, hang on, that's 3 bounty runes for the... wait, did FY really just do that? Oh, I missed that. That's my bad. FY stole the bounty rune. Apparently, Monet just ran away. He was afraid of what was coming his way. So, up at top lane, Super and Arfu is going to be the Necro Kunkka up against the aggressive tri-lane here, Sand King, Shadow Shaman, and Void. So they put Inflame mid-puck against the Queen of Pain of Maybe. Already off to a good start, gets the first last hit. That's the middle finger to his opponents, but a deny as well, a second deny. Maybe, ooh. Misses out on that last one. Misses out on that one. Bottom lane, yeah, Magnus against the Lich Juggernaut. Oh, top, hello, goodbye, Super, finished off, killed immediately. Aggressive trial in from LGD, paying off straight off the bat. A difficult start for LFY, as it looks like LGD have the better of all of these lanes. Quap against Puck. Puck probably favored nowadays with all the buffs Puck has had, but I'd say maybe is the better mid laner than Inflame is. Top lane, are they trying to kill again? Necro Shackle gets the Ghost Shroud off. He's actually gone Ghost Shroud level 1. They bring in DDC as well, but this is a Lich with Sacrifice. You have no aggressive potential at all apart from just right clicks. Now they set up their defensive tri-lane. They'll shift things around. Void moves to bottom. Face up against the Juggernaut. So Magnus, he just goes top lane. Now you've got an aggressive tri-lane with Magnus having Skewer. He can bring Super back. The Kunkka Torrent won't land. There's the Shackles. FY repositions himself. There is still a Ghost Shroud here from Super, and he will use it for the Shockwave. FY is already level 2, and he has that magical nuke damage to go through it. Taking down yet another kill on the Necrophos. 0-2 and 0 on Super. Very, very unfortunate for him to begin the game this way. As mid lane, we catch Maybe taking down the Puck. Even in CS, 10-4 against the 10-3, but the first blood goes to the Queen of Pain, which is really very unusual. Also, bless RNG. Regeneration rune gets the double null sent out to him as well. Doesn't even have the bottle yet, but obviously doesn't need it. Blinks in with another Scream. Continues the regen for a little bit longer, but this is Inflame with a magic wand mid lane. Not performing particularly well against Maybe, as he is being absolutely hammered. Bottom, Arme does take a Frost Blast to the back of the head. This Blade Fury is good, with 4 stick charges though. Arme should be fine to time walk it off, but he actually jumps forward looking for potentially a bash onto Monet. That maybe would have been a kill even, if he'd got that hit off and bashed him onto the tower. Another tower hit, another couple of hits from Void, and, well, Monet would have died, but he doesn't get the hit, so he doesn't even get the bash. LGD 3-0. Literally the best start you can imagine. Okay, the Void sitting at 7-3, not the most amazing amount of last hits, but Puck being bullied mid lane with a bottle double null here for the Queen of Pain already available. Going to be trading regen more effectively, forcing out these phase shifts, so you dodge the Shadow Strike, but you're going to take maybe a couple of the actual normal right clicks from the Queen of Pain. How do we have our lanes now? Void needs the farm. Arme has called for his supports to come in, so the cavalry arrives. Sand King and the Shadow Shaman looking for Monet. I don't think they'll be able to get the Burrow Strike though. Monet will be able to spin, but he's got enough distance here between himself and the supports just to walk it off. As FY now in a 1v2 against Arfu and Super. Victoria looking to maybe snipe the bounty rune. Oh, a bit afraid there. The Monet is up on the high ground potentially. They don't see the Juggernaut. So DDC will claim that for himself. No, he won't. DDC is always so sacrificial. He'll let this Juggernaut take it. Of course he will. With things tapering off a little bit here, Puck is leading in last hits in the middle lane against Maybe, even with that one death in Flame. Using the matchup to his advantage. Puck against Quap, obviously. Puck favored. Sand King spotted here. They'll know there's a ward now. There's no way the creeps aggro on you like that when you're standing in these trees without an observer ward, but it'll expire in, what, 40 seconds? Probably not worth dewarding. Just unfortunate for Victoria there that you're not going to get anything done in the middle lane. Maybe shifts away. Spotted again, though. Trying to come from the northwest side, but I don't know if he's going to be able to accomplish anything here up against Inflame. Super now, though, has a lane. Can actually start farming a little bit. Mid lane, they are going to try and go in on the Puck, but yeah, again, Inflame is just a little bit too quick. You're not going to be able to catch with the Sand King. You need that instant disable from something like the Shadow Shaman Hex. Level 2 Rasta, of course, not yet. Leveling that up, just has the 101 as Monet looks for Yao. There's the X into Torrent and Spin. A good dive in behind this tier 1. Will secure them a kill on the Shadow Shaman. Sand King's looking for something up top, but I don't think he'll find the Necro there.
Denied.
Gold for my chest.
It's a good stun in from Victoria with a skewer not hitting FY. Level 3 Shockwave not going to secure this kill either. Caustic Finale is going on and the good Shackles will secure them the kill. A little bit of a weird skirmish there, but they bring 3 heroes in to kill Super and they do succeed in the end, buying a bit of space for FY. Arcane's already up. He could still think about going for the Soul Ring if he really wants to, but Blink Dagger will likely just be that first port of call for him as mid lane may be in onto Inflame. Sonic Wave and level 4 and Scream ready, but the phase shift coming up and the salve. Oh yeah, 10-1 charges means that you're never going to go for that kill. But look at that, maybe finds another regen rune. Shifting down towards bottom lane where Arme is being bullied a little bit here by Monet and DDC. Lich should be a simple kill and Juggernaut's still level 5, so they don't have the Omni Slash. But what they do want here is Arme to hit 6 for the chrono. Unfortunately, not going to be here in time. A few right clicks and punches in, but maybe doesn't throw the Sonic Wave just then. Not enough damage to kill the 300 HP Juggernaut with 3 stick charges. Would have been a bit of a reach to go for it. Nice beginning there. Can they shack? Oh, this is sick. Sonic Wave. Do you throw it? Just right-clicking here with the 1 charge is now an orb forward. He Dream Coils and Inflame. Going to get denied here by DDC potentially, or just regen up enough. Phase shift is ready. Dodges one of the ticks. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's So what happens there is he dodges one of the, or he tries to dodge one of the ticks. Level 1 phase shift though. He wanted to get up to the shrine. Thought that he had enough time to get up there without being denied. Unfortunately though, misjudges it just a little bit. Just a little bit there. I mean, that certainly should have been a deny, and as we're talking and thinking about that whole scenario and trying to wrap our heads around it, they find Monet on the bottom lane. Sand King, as well as Queen of Pain, rotate in. Sand King still full mana, full HP. Looks like it was just Queen of Pain and this little Void that did most of the job. Orb won't land onto the Faceless Void, and he's got a Time Walk as well to jump himself north or south, wherever he chooses, but he'll just juke and jive around away from Inflame, who has shifted down towards his bottom lane, giving DDC the mid. FY dies top, but Inflame, Victoria, and Arme, this little dance in the jungle is pretty interesting, while maybe has gone in onto the mid lane. Reaper Scythe not ready. They did just kill FY top with it, so maybe clears up the kill here, but an X marks if he can reach, but the long TP. Arfu won't get there in time. So how did FY die? Let's take a quick look. Show fight recap. He RP'd, but it looks like he just got, yeah, he got hit by all of the spells. Spin, X, Torrent, Reaper Scythe, everything got thrown into the mix there onto the Magnus. Very, very sad for him. But he's closing in on his Blink Dagger. It's all fine. Puck stunned up with the Orb on cooldown. There's a Waning Rift with a Dream Coil as well. They need to get a skewer or something, but the Shackle's not going to be there in time, and Inflame will actually dodge the gank pretty successfully. I don't know how that happened. Surely should have died. Just with that Waning Rift, what is it, level 3? Level 3, so he's gone 3-3-1, and not the 4-2-1, which maybe we more commonly see, but this is the build against the Queen of Pain. Silence is so potent up against it.
Bounty.
Monet gets a bit of FaceTime with the creeps. Victoria being chased back by the Lich, but in comes Maybe. Scream there onto DDC. He has a Sonic Wave as well if he wants to try and land this on the two of them. I don't think they've got any control though, and they are just trying to bait him a little bit deeper. There's the Sonic Wave. Scream, Super still alive. Reaper Scythe, no mana for it, but they don't need it. As Maybe will still die, but he traded his life for that of the Necro as bottom lane. The phase-shifting Puck finds a kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Magnus skewers forward. He has RP and Shockwave, but there's a phase shift here from Inflame if he wants to use it. There's an Orb and a Shift and a Jaunt, and it looks like Inflame is stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Salve comes through. He has another phase shift now as well as a Soul Ring, so he can do another Orb shift, but he's shifted early. In comes another Shockwave. There's no skewer. Victoria, level 3 Burrow Strike, Soul Ring, the Ether Shot from Yow. That's what secures the kill, but here comes the X-Torrent. With the Reaper Scythe ready, they'll look for this kill onto Victoria, and they secure it relatively simply. Trouble is, they traded that for that life of the Puck. 9-5, LFY definitely struggling throughout this laning stage. Arme, Chrono top lane. He has stick charges and a time walk here. Monet turns to get a couple of hits in, but a good shockwave. FY there with the rotation once again. Great timing, and yeah, you can see the Puck's pinging out saying, hey, Magnus, he has RP. He has plenty of money saved up as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, this middle lane Puck, how are we doing? 1-3-0. Those deaths to his name, not particularly nice. As the epicenter into Shackles now. Chain Frost bouncing between the supports, but onto the Ancients at the last second. Maybe joins the fight. X-Mark with the boat, flying out onto the Sand King. Victoria finally dies to the Dream Coil. Maybe silenced up as well. Probably in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have any support coming in. Another X-Mark means that maybe he's going to surely fall while Arfu escapes with DDC on very, very little HP. They also de-ward up on the high ground. A great trade there for them. Even though they lose the Necro, they'll get the 3-man Shrine. And they kill this Queen of Pain, who has been such a vital threat for the Radiant up against the Dire. 1,000 net worth shift there. 400 going the way of each of the supports, as well as 300 onto the Puck. So that moves DDC closer to one of those key items like the Force or the Glimmer. Same with Arfu. But more importantly, it moves this Inflame Puck that little bit closer to the Blink Dagger. Net worth-wise, we are still looking at maybe up at the top. Queen of Pain with Treads Veil. Juggernaut, what are you at now? Phase Yasha? Oh no. Do you have something on the Courier? He doesn't. 4.4k. 13 minutes in. I guess this isn't too bad, right? He's played like aggressive tri lanes. He's been running around. It's not been too shabby. Void is the same story, but he'll have his Mask of Mana soon, and that is going to be a much bigger threat than Phase Yasha. With Chrono Mom, you do so much damage into the Chrono that just an extra spell, you know, an Ether Shock, a Scream, maybe a Sonic Wave, you'll find a couple of kills in there.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Did Keen beat Age Vitality? Is that a bait? Has someone baited me here?
Radiant's bottom tower
No freaking way. 2-0? I'm going to bring up Dota buffers. We're looking at this nice little smoke gank come in from LFY, moving towards the mid-tier 1. They are starting to gain pretty large tracts of land here. Map control's going their way, especially if they can kill off this tower. And bring that down in good time. Observable gets placed, but it looks like it's pinged out. FY, he knows what's up. Blink Dagger RP at the ready. Sentry placed by the Shadow Shaman as well. This is such an interesting setup. 3 up on the high ground here, ready to fight. If LFY dive in too deep, they'll glyph the tier 1, creeps kill the Observer Ward, and now they have that little bit of an area to move on forward and deny the tower. Victoria sweeps in and takes it away from the hands of the Necro. Now they look for the team fight. Arfu, DDC up on the front lines. They RP into the Necro, the solo one there with the epicenter as well, with the 2-man torrent boat. Chain Frost bounces back between the Quap and the Rasta. They kill off 2. So they trade their offlaner and their 4-roll for that 1-roll Necro. Bunch of ultis as well, but in comes Arme. There's a big chrono. Do they have Sonic Wave? They don't anymore. They've got a blink available, but a time walk. Not ready just yet with the Mask Mana still going and the silence is there. LFY, they shift the fight back their way. Every single spell thrown into the mix outside of the Reaper Scythers. Necro died immediately, but LFY, with that Torrent Boat taking out the 2 disruptive team fight heroes of LGD, the Magnus and the Sand King, making really short work there of the Void as well as he jumped into that chrono. Gets the blink on the puck. Monet now has a bit of money to spend as well, 13 to 11, but the lead belongs to LFY. They have map control. They've brought down both of the tier 1s mid and bottom lane. So they have access, or more access to this Radiant jungle to start pressuring tier 2s, but more importantly, take farm away from the Void and the Magnus, who now, without ultimates, do have to fall back and really rely on these jungle camps to start farming because the lanes are really scary. Right, I'm going to see if I've been debated by chat. Let's have a look. ESL. ESL. Best of 3 between eHome Keen and IG Vitality. Okay. Okay. Well, they finished their games quickly, didn't they? Game 3 not played. eHome Keen. Very, very good. Puck has found the Sand King, but doesn't want to expend coil here for Victoria. Blink Dagger, a little bit of a cancellation there from the Caustic Finale. Yao, I think, wants to try and make a play with the Faceless Void onto the puck, but Inflame very swiftly moves back, understands that with those 2 supports there, they could potentially catch him out. There's no real support available. Super, Arfu, and DDC will move to the top lane. This is where Inflame lives, honestly. Whenever he's playing puck, whether it is off lane or in this game he played mid, he's just hiding on this bottom lane. So easy as a puck on the dire side to really push into these tier 1s and tier 2s. You're pretty safe over in these trees. Lots of avenues of escape. Access to this bounty rune to refill your bottle as well if you go for one, which he didn't this game. Soul Ring, Blink, moving quickly into the Dagon. Not even heading into a Yules or anything like that. No phase, no treads. Not going to go for the bots. Just wants the Dagon. Wants to zap people down. Definitely imagine a Void with a Mask of Manaswan silencing him up. If you do get that Dagon in with a couple of nukes, Void's not going to last too long. Where have you dropped Serpent Wards? Yeah, I'll throw Serpent Wards mid lane. Oh, that's a Dream Coil. A big RP. Hits onto the Juggernaut. Jackal there as well with a Sonic Wave. But Monet's still alive. Reaper Scythe flies out. And maybe he has no blink for a set. Finally has it, but silenced by Inflame again. LFY, another sick fight. Unfortunately, FY had to RP the solo Juggernaut there. They pressured into tier 1 and they do finally kill it off as Yao takes down the tower. But LFY really dedicated, strong team fight decision making, moving forward as a unit, and Inflame's puck completely controlling LGD. Sand King still trying to farm that Blink Dagger. And Arme wasn't available either in this fight, so it was a 5v3, but look at this smoke. FY TP's into the middle of 3 enemy heroes, X-Mark and the Silence. He isn't hit by the Torrent though, so the jump away from LFY, make sure they're not going to get caught by a Blink Skewer. LGD, fearing for their lives at this point though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The kill score relatively even. Queen of Pain is up at the top of the net worth. Maybe has Veil Yules heading into the Orchid. FY shows on the bottom lane, but Blink Coil there from Inflame. X-Mark as well as the coil snaps and drag him back to a massive shark that gobbles him up.
To retract your last move.
Well, that's nice as well. X-Mark the puck, regen up. Get the little Dagon going as well. Bottom lane Serpent Wards dropped again by Yao, looking to focus down this tier 1. But with DDC behind Super, and now the Hood complete with the Veil, Necro is incredibly tanky. Has died a few times this game. Laning phase started pretty poorly, went 0 and 3, but things have looked up for Super in the past 5 to 10 minutes. Playing more with his team. Where is Arme now? Manta style about 1,000 gold away, and he does desperately need that against this puck. Get out of the Waning Rift. Make sure he's not continually silenced. You know, Mask of Manus into Waning Rift is how long is that exactly? So 8 seconds, and Waning Rift is like 4 or 5, right? Only 3. 3 seconds. Still a long time to be silenced, you know? 11 seconds of silence, potentially. On a Void. 6 seconds cooldown on Time Walk. So that's like 2 Time Walks, basically, right? Close to 2 Time Walks there that you're losing out on. Roshan attempt in here from LFY. With the healing ward down, this should be slow and steady work. They don't have a medallion just yet, do they? No, just Glimmer Cape over on Alfu. DDC has been buying all the sentries and wards, but again, with the healing ward, with the Necro here, and now the puck arrives to the party, they should be able to bring this down relatively securely.
Double damage. Roshan has fallen to the Dire are scanning.
Coin for me. I'll take your tribute.
Void will make a hasty retreat from the top lane. LGD, they're farming efficiently, they're just not making any real aggressive actions, trying to get past this period of the game where LFY are incredibly strong, try and take down some of these tier 1s so they can open themselves up to make some of those sweeping smoke movements that we saw in game number 1. It was game number 2, sorry, where LGD were making some really nice smoke movements from bot lane through towards mid, but here comes Epicenter with a blink stun. Maybe's here with a Sonic Wave, and down goes the Aegis, immediately traded for 2 ultimates. This, though, is the time to strike for LFY. They smoke moving through into the Radiant jungle. They're going to hunt here for someone, but 3 mid lane from LGD. FY is the one that's going to potentially show on this lane, but backs up a little bit onto the ramp, but he's moved the wrong way. He chose the wrong direction. Rod of Atos. You can skewer, can you? Yeah, a little bit further out, but the X-Mark drags him back into death. Super doesn't even expend the Reaper Scythe. Gets the regen regardless, as he does get the final killing blow, and they found more. Shadow Shaman caught by Inflame's puck up on the high ground. And even though they lose the Aegis, they suddenly get 2 really big momentum kills here, pushing into tier 2. Bottom lane Sand King. Monet knows exactly what's up as Victoria blinks and TPs away. Top lane getting a little bit of chip damage here from LGD. They are going to lose their tier 2 here potentially. TP back from Alfu. Looks like they were going to set up and defend this tier 2 top lane. Mid tower still A little way to go to actually finish it off. Yeah, Monet has to come back here and start swiping away. A little bit worried, though, for the Blink RP as in comes the Sand King. 2-man RP and Skewer back. The Lich Chain Frost for the Chrono is there. The Wrath is caught inside. The Chain Frost is killing everybody. The Void. Oh, he silenced the dead. LFY. They cleared through 3. The buyback from the Void coming back into the fight. But the Necro, he's actually going to be able to spin down with a Juggernaut onto Victoria, the runaway. Out of the Sandstorm, the double buyback, but they have no ultimates. LFY, they move up onto the high ground, and where is Maybe? Maybe is still running down from the top lane after taking the tier 2 there. LFY absolutely destroy LGD, all thanks to DDC's Chain Frost following the Magnus through the Skewer. They thought it was the perfect RP into Skewer into Chrono, but DDC, he says no. Skewer back, 2-man here from LFY with a burst strike as well, but in jumps LFY. Monet spins down Yao, and VP game, no, Inflame, Inflame's his name, that's his freaking name. Spaceship is there, oh man, silenced up by the Master Man, tries to kill him one, he does get the Lich at least, but Everton are now down with the Necro, but the turnaround is still available. They're also tanky. LFY stick around, now have to retreat just a touch, as Healing Ward is on cooldown, and this Necro is running out of HP and mana. This man's name is not VP Game, his name is Inflame. Very nearly slipped up there. Tier 3 does still stand, 600 HP though, as LFY some seriously devastating damage to LGD. Ultimates out from the Void and the Magnus weren't enough to win them a team fight, but they didn't have the Queen of Pain there with them. Maybe we'll have to get involved very seriously very soon. That tier 2 top was not a worthy trade. But with any kind of wombo combo lineup, you always have to remember that one big combo can swing the game into your favor, or at least balance things out and give you a good fighting chance. And that's what LGD are always going to have on their mind. Same with LFY, they'll know. One good fight from LGD, one sick RP into Chrono, into Sonic Wave, with an Epicenter Burrow on top. That is so much CC and damage in an AoE, trapping them all into one location that potentially, you know, LFY could get wiped. But they are dealing with Necro and Jug, escapable, tanky, annoying, elusive heroes like the Puck. This is a really tough game for Arme against the Ice Armor of the Lich, though. 7 bonus armor now, 9 when he levels it up to 4. And it really does diminish the damage that the Void is going to be able to do in these fights. And honestly, even with Empower, Arme is going to struggle.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A bit of a mirroring here from both teams. Top tier 3
is under attack.
has been breached by the creeps. No heroes here to hit it though, as mid lane Victoria hit by the X mark. Top lane Serpent Ward to place onto tier 3, but Sand King's dead, obliterated and deleted from the game. Up at top lane though, there's a good little Rod of Aethos down onto the Queen of Pain, but they won't chase or commit too far in. They'll clear the Serpent Ward to make sure that the tower doesn't take too much damage. In goes the Frost armor, the Ice armor, the Cold armor. Oh, hello, Yao. How is he here? He tried to TP out when he's found by Puck. Inflame is like, yeah, what up? Nice little Reaper Scythe action there. Takes down the Shadow Shaman. Roshan, we'll find out when he's alive in about a minute's time. Definitely going to be the next big point of contest for both of these teams. Sonic Wave is pure. Scream is magical. You are absolutely correct. Super. Actually gonna buy a Lotus Orb here. He's got the Perseverance? He does. What can you do with this? Put it on yourself and you're not gonna get hexed, ether shocked. It's pretty good. Shackled. But you can also dispel hex if one of your teammates does get hit by the Shadow Shaman. Get rid of Shadow Strike. There's no Diffusal Blade or anything here for the Void, so that's whatever. Just a nice little deterrent tool, and you can have Necro walk up onto the front lines, get onto the tier 3 on top of this ramp with Lotus Orb on him. Maybe even consider finishing the pipe in a little time. Going for the full utility build here on the Necrophos, which... Oh, this is probably the most common build in China right now. We very rarely see the Radiance anymore. No Aghanim's Octarine or anything like that. It's pretty much Veil, sometimes the Atos, but it's like Veil Hood, Lotus Orb, maybe a Hex, or a Shiver's Guard. Shiver's Guard's pretty popular as well. Mainly you just want to tank up and be that, like pseudo Tide Hunter, right? You're a damage dealing Tide Hunter at that point. Very, very difficult to kill. But yeah, that's something I've just realized actually. With no Diffusal Blade, now it's being built by the Void. They don't have a good way to deal with Ghost Shroud if they catch the Necro. True enough, there's a lot of magic damage here. But you would like to just get rid of the Ghost Shroud so you can right-click him as the Void, especially if you catch him in your ulti. The D-wards around Roshan come up, but it is a bit of a long respawn there. 1 minute 40 until the big man returns to his little cavern. His mum's basement. He's been kicked out for doing drugs. But he'll be back soon, don't worry. Maybe has slowed down a little bit in the farm here, it feels like. After, I guess, the full Orchid is done, never mind. That's a very expensive item. 4,000 gold invested into that, and the BKB is coming up soon. You just look at the Queen of Pain's inventory, and here we go. BKB from the Void, but look at this. The phase shift, the jaunt, the jump away, the chrono, and the catch is one. It's actually a Necro in the backline, but there's a Ghost Shroud. Super's still alive, the Chamber bounces back and forth. Super always looking for the Reaper side, potentially got the maybe, but he's not going to get it just yet. The Glimmer Cape is there, but maybe escapes. In the backlines, there's the puck in a lot of trouble. Lincoln Sphere available in a phase shift and jaunt, a jump away, but there's Arme. Finds the kill. In comes Victoria, gets the stun down onto the Lich. DDC is caught, but I don't know if there's enough damage to go around. A lot of Atos, but the Hex back onto the Necro. Super still holds the Reaper side. He tried to throw it onto Yao. Now he's Glimmer Caped up. He has to get this kill to be able to regen up the Lotus Orb. The stuns bounce back. Oh, Victoria found by Super. LFY, they've killed off two. It is a 2-for-2 trade here, though, with Radiant expending the majority of their ultis. FY blinks away and goes for the TP. No one here to catch him. There is no stun. The X mark goes for the Torrent. Arfu, he knew the position, but it wasn't fast enough. Not even sure what that fight was. Chrono on one. I didn't see an RP. What an ab! There's like 3 fights happening at once. There's one down here. There's the Queen of Pain up here. There's a Chrono and a Bubble here. Absolutely messy from these LGD teams. Scrappy, battling it out, but messy. Super, not even going to bother to put his Lotus Orb on. Roshan has, of course, respawned, and both teams vying for that control around the pit. X-Mark Puck allows a little more safety. Phase shifts it off. 1,000 net worth lead for LFY. Significantly diminished from, Chrono Sonic Wave in onto the Necro. Now he dies. Immediately deleted. Arme the Chain Frost. It just bounces off his BKB. He doesn't even care. In jumps Queen of Pain. Look at the Mono. Juggernaut has to retreat. The Mantis already been used, so silence up for now. With the X Mark coming in, Arme is trapped with the Torrent there. Omni Slash RP. Where did it go? Oh, the Omni. It came just in time. The RP doesn't land. FY misses out with Victoria coming in with a Sand King. Epicenter not going to do a lot of damage here. Hex up onto the Necro. He bought back. He wants to get a Reaper Scythe. He needs to get a kill, but he's going to get stunned and chained, stunned and killed off again. Super. A dieback for your Necro now. A 2k lead here for the Radiant team. Faced with Void. He's dead for 109 seconds, but also a dieback from your Juggernaut potentially. He's brought back and he's coming to this fight. Monet, they do kill off Victoria Sand King, but dear lord, what is happening in these fights? Chain Frosts are doing nothing. The BKBs here from Maybe and Arme proving to be absolutely vital in these team fights. And apparently FY doesn't even need to hit a freaking RP to win. He's just there with big old Empower. Throw it onto Queen of Pain. Throw it onto the old Void. And you do a hell of a lot of damage. So Reaper Scythe did kill the Void in the end, it looks like, as that respawn time is way too long for someone who didn't buy back.
Double damage.
LFY is so desperate to go and win a team fight. They were the ones that were pressuring tier 3 not long ago. What, 7-8 minutes ago? They were up on the high ground of their opponents. But LGD, with these team fight ultis, like we were saying, so incredibly powerful at winning team fights. Skirmishes, or just little scraps in the jungle as Inflame clears the Observer Sentry combo there, and Roshan has been taken over by the Dire team. But RP ready. Chrono also ready. Void needs to return to the land of the living. Needs this battlefield to be his. Oh, very, very close to respawning. And the Dire, they realize they have to back up. They can't stay inside this pit with so many AoE abilities from the Radiant. Absolutely impossible. LGD. Arme in with a Chrono on 2. The big target as well. The Sonic Wave flies out. The Sand King stunned as well. In comes the Buck. A little bit of damage, but mainly the reduction of damage onto themselves. The Super stays a little bit alive. The Reaper Scythe still available. Turns back onto the Void, but doesn't kill off Victoria. Doesn't get the regen. Victoria's still up with the Death Pulse. Apparently not landing. Well, that was just an animation bug. They kill off 4 heroes. And LFY look like they're down and out, honestly. LGD, full control of this game now. Full control of the team fights. 24-29, they are behind in kills, but 6-7. Nearly 8,000. Net worth lead over LFY. Queen of Pain and Faceless Void. Absolutely destroying fools. And Necro. We did say about the BKB and how it does have anti-synergy with the Ghost Shroud, but in this game it feels like you desperately need it. Although, in that fight, he died in the middle of Chrono. With so much damage coming at him, it was very, very, very difficult to escape. Fu just trying to hold them back with some torrents, but this is 2 lanes of racks now going the way of LGD. Juggernaut still dead for 15, Puck not alive for 10. X-Mark torrent not going to work. FY says, I am better than you, and he runs away. Wait, hang on. Did Maybe look at that? Maybe has killed Dire top, melee and ranged. Dire mid, melee and ranged. Maybe has picked up a bounty rune. Maybe he's picked up a haste. Maybe this is not your feed. This is not all meant to be about you. This is just the RSS feed of Maybe's Dota 2 career right now. Give someone else a chance, baby. Come on.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
Now the Void. Down to 3 charges on the Diffuser Blade, heading into the Assault Cuirass.
Dire's
1 lane of
bottom
barracks
tower is
remaining
under
though.
attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Cheese and Aegis still up and running, and yeah, you've got basically 3 minutes left of Aegis time. This looks close to over. All the ultis available for LGD. And with the Dire, Bunker's back in their base. LFY, they've got to hold back. They've got to play defensively here. Just a little bit. Maybe force LGD to overextend. The 2-man Chrono, Puck and Necro both caught the BKB from maybe means that they do no damage. This is over. This is game. There's buyback only on the Puck. They've just lost 3 heroes immediately. It is over. Super cool GG. LGD and maybe continues. Another 4 kills. An ultra for him as the kill feed is entirely his. 14-3-6, 28-29, LGD Gaming. They progress to the grand final of the ESL Hamburg qualifiers for China. And they'll be meeting up against Keen Gaming, who have absolutely slaughtered everybody on their way through. An open qualifier team. Let's just have a look, a quick little look. An open qualifier team. Keen defeated FTD, which is Aggressive's team with the old FTD Club A boys. They defeated IG 2-1. IG, the team that is the same as the old IG, they just replaced Burning with ZYF. They defeated them 2-1. They defeated IG Vitality 2-0 just now, as they're waiting for us. Keen are waiting for LGD in the grand final, and that will be coming up in just a little while. I'll give you an update on exactly when it's meant to start, because I think we have about half an hour break, but I'll make sure for you as we take a break and come back in just a little bit. Thanks for watching. See you after this short intermission. I say short, but I may have lied. I'm sorry in advance. This is Chinese Dota after all.